This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
Hello and welcome to Too Old to Game.
You forgot the name there for a second?
I did. The podcast where we talk about gaming and things.
That's
and we're
the
old
oldness.
people.
Yeah, that's the oldness.
It's built into the title. Yeah, it works out great. But I'm your fear-filled host, Dave Oster. I'm joined by the Mark Weber.
Hey, Dudley
And the original man-child himself, Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
And today we've got some Red Dead Redemption 2 to lead things off, because obviously that's a hot game. It literally just dropped 2 days ago. I'm enthralled with it. These guys are going to have to listen to me talk about it. We'll get some feedback. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about...
Wouldn't it be yesterday?
I can't keep track of time anymore. It technically dropped at like midnight on Thursday or whatever. Like, you get how the midnight releases.
Yeah, that's Friday.
Shut up. Mark's right. But so we're going to do some Red Dead. We're going to talk about some next-gen consoles and how is the end of PlayStation 4 looking for... PlayStation. Obviously Xbox equivalent, but like we're not Xbox people, so it's going to be skewed towards PlayStation, just an advanced warning. And then,
plus it's also been an accepted fact that
it's better.
Microsoft sucked when it comes to that first party exclusive experience for this generation. They did not do a good job.
No arguments here. And then we're going to do some Fortnite, our weekly World of Warcraft check-in. And whatever else we can think of at that point.
Yeah.
But before we get started, I do want to do a quick shout out just to say if you guys like, enjoy, or really just, have fun listening to our show, go ahead and check us out on iTunes, rate us like 5 stars, leave a comment. We love the feedback. We love the appreciation. It helps us grow, helps us get bigger. But Red Dead Redemption 2 dropped on Friday, as Mark so clearly stated for us.
Because if you were there on Thursday, you were sadly disappointed.
You were not
when it was
getting
not
Red Dead.
There.
Yeah, you were not getting Red Dead. But this game is beautiful. It is the sequel that we've waited about 8 years for. 8 years?
Yeah, I think
I'm going to say about 8 years. Yeah, 2010. So we've waited about 8 years for the sequel. I am not all the way through the game. I'm watching, to be 100% honest with you. Like, I haven't bought it yet, but I've watched about 6 to 7 hours.
Are you going to buy it?
I think so.
Because with you're a thing where you watch,
right?
Then you either don't buy or you buy, play it, and go, I just want to watch it. And then you go back to watching.
So here's the thing that's different about this game is that the story is not, like, you don't play on a track, basically. It is, you go through the opening of the game, and it's an experience where you're basically run out of town, and you're up in the mountains in the wilderness, kind of, surviving for yourself. But then the world really opens up, and yes, there's a storyline, but really the open world is what's so attractive about this game to me. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you guys out the gates, they killed it with the soundtrack, they killed it with the visuals, and the in-game logic is actually pretty fantastic. The voice acting, solid. Like, I am so happy with this game, and I was shocked because I wasn't huge in Red Dead Redemption. I didn't play it, but I watched someone do a playthrough of it. Thought, okay, it looks like a fun game.
It
whatever.
was a lot of fun. Yeah.
But this is kind of not traditionally my style of game because it's very much it's a slower paced survival based game. But there's a lot of decision making. There's enough mini games apparently to fill up like weeks of time.
You can go to the movies, play cards.
Exactly. You can go fishing. You can gamble.
Pick flowers.
I literally watched someone murder everything he could find in the most creative ways for about an hour and a half today, and he wasn't even close to done.
Pick somebody up, throw him off a mountain.
Yeah, he Lion Kingdom.
Yeah.
I mean, it was incredible. He also would lasso people, tie them up into a canoe, push it out in the water, and then shoot the canoe, and it sinks and they drown. I'm like, okay, we're getting to ridiculous levels of fun here.
This is what we talked about 3 weeks ago, playing a game as a psychopath.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is. And, there is a wanted system and everything, but just the ability to be creative and to play the game your own way is incredible. And again, I think I can speak highly enough. The soundtrack, incredible to set the mood. Like, you get into the game and you get lost. Like, I looked up and I was like, it's been 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm watching someone play the game, so that's even crazier.
I remember you said getting lost, and it reminds me of the original Red Dead because it was so easy. Now, I loved the actual game itself was fun, but I never finished that game. I played a lot of it online with my friends, and it was kind of the precursor to Grand Theft Auto Online, for Rockstar, and I haven't really heard anything about Red Dead's online So I
know multiplayer they assume is coming soon.
Yeah.
It's not out now.
And that was pretty much the same thing that happened with Grand Theft Auto Online too. It was like, well, you guys told us we were going to play online. Where's my online? Which, you know what? We were all better off waiting for it because I didn't really enjoy it that much. But anyways, Red Dead was perfect for online. It was a small group. The map was big. You could go around and really, like, there was a few of these events that you could do. But what I always loved was getting lost in the world.
Yeah.
You'd be like, all right, guys, we're going to get here and we're going to do this game clear out or wherever in this mine. And it's like, yep, all right, where's Dave? Dave's picking flowers. What the fuck are you doing picking flowers? But, like, that's the thing. You have so many things to, or like, oh, you know, this person is just kind of hunting a bear right now. I'll be there in a second, guys. I got killed.
Yep.
You know, it's like those type of things. Just it's such a great environment to interact with. You know, where Grand Theft Auto is a lot of like, let me go shoot this rocket and get a 5-star wanted level and get killed by the military.
Yeah.
Do crazy things like that. This is very much of you and the environment, which makes it so unique and a lot of fun. And just kind of how you can do a lot of crazy things.
Yeah.
No, and like for me, I'm sitting here thinking because I never played Red Dead Redemption. Right now, like hearing you talk about it, you're describing my Assassin's Creed Odyssey experience.
And I'm glad you brought
right
that
now.
up because a lot of people are trying to make that comparison because they are both very recent games to come out.
And the first thing that is very much like it is like you said, you get lost in it. With me, I had mentioned it to you off camera one day where, the one guy I know that has played it was like, oh, you're going to get lost in like 6 hours. It's like, wait, what? And then like the other night, I'm like, all right, 4:30. And then I looked up and I was like, fuck, it's 10:30. Where did my night go? Well, I guess I'm going to play Assassin's Creed for a little bit more.
I'm calling into work tomorrow.
But luckily it was last night. So I only had this today.
Good call.
But I mean, it kind of is a similar thing of here's your first thing in Kefalonia. Then after you're on the ship and the title screen goes, all right, where are you going to go from there? And that's the thing that I like with games where it's like, hey, you're going to get this story. What way do you want to tell it? What do you want to tackle first? Where do you want to go?
Right.
Rather than go here, then go here, then go here. Don't pull my hand.
Yeah.
Just say here.
And,
here's where you can go.
There's something to be said for both kinds of experiences, but we can only have so many Detroit Become Humans where it's literally you have your choices, but here is your story.
So you're on like a roller coaster basically. You're on the rails and then we can't really go off too far.
And then we can only have so many of these type of games where it's here's a world, we'll see you later.
Exactly, because in order to have an open world game that is successful, you have to put a lot of polish and a lot of time into making it super easy to pick up because like I was cracking up. There was this one of the guys I was watching on Twitch. Like he's like, okay, I'm gonna go to this town to go take care of this. And on the way over, he's riding there, and like he comes across someone. They're like, hey, let's race to over here. And he's like, I don't wanna, because I'm doing this. But never mind. I'm a horse race. This sounds like fun. And he goes and does like a horse race. And he ends up on the other part of the map, and then like he runs into something else on the way, and it's just like. The ability to kind of stumble over in-game storylines that are already in progress is actually really cool because you don't have to, like, it's not forcing you to play the game. It's like, hey, you came across this. You can dive deeper into this world if you want to, or you can keep doing your thing.
And it feels real.
It does.
When you have something like that, because I think of when we're talking about, the last gen or what our last big, I shouldn't say the last, someone's going to get mad at me, but one of the last big open world experiences was Skyrim. And we can say one of the last ones because it keeps coming out time and time again. But that was a one where, yes, there was tons of things you could do. You can wander and you find a little cave to go wander in or something, a place where there's barbarians, whatever. There's stuff for you to find. But it didn't, to me at least, nothing really ever felt real. You walk into a city and there's like 20 people. And this is a highly populated city.
Right.
You walk into this dungeon and it's pretty similar to this last dungeon you were in, but when I feel like something that you can do really well, and Grand Theft Auto had done it before, so this is just a Rockstar type of thing, but it's those kind of little moments, running into somebody who's getting beaten up by two different characters, and you can choose to just keep going, kill the two guys stopping them, help them, or kill all of them. You can do whatever you want. Like those things feel very real. And there is a benefit, it's a cheap benefit, I think, a little bit to this compared to when you walk into a Skyrim city. We're in the Wild Wild West. Things are not heavily populated.
Exactly.
You get an advantage of that. It's a little easier. Things are supposed to be spaced out. When it came to Grand Theft Auto 5, Rockstar said, we're not going to do the San Andreas model of here's Los Santos, here's this big open area, here's this other big open area that's kind of like Las Vegas. Because they felt like it was wasted space. They didn't really take advantage of it. Now, I still think that Grand Theft Auto 5 had wasted space in the northern areas.
Yeah.
But Skyrim was a very similar thing of like sometimes you feel like you're just kind of some wasted space. But with Grand Theft Auto 5 trying to not do some of that, now they're going back to that and being okay with having that open space and very purposeful open space. So it's kind of interesting seeing them bounce back and forth on that.
I totally agree. The open space in this game is they don't want anything to be quick for you. They want you to feel like you're accomplishing something every step of the way. So like there's no fast travel. There's no quick way. I know you joked about like Spider-Man being your jam because like why would anyone fast travel in this game?
Yeah.
I'm going to sling through the city, have fun, and enjoy it.
I'm going to throw this out there. Assassin's Creed, fuck boats, fast travel's the way to go.
Exactly.
Like you're synchronizing all the, like you got to go to the top of these points and then have your hawk or your eagle synchronize it. If I'm on an island, I make sure to get one of those because my worst part of that game is naval travel or traveling by boat. And it's like, screw that. I'm just going to fast travel. Where in this one, Red Dead, is it going to be like with the open world, it's eventually how many times going across everything? Is it going to get boring? Or is it going to be like you guys said, where it's like, hey, I came over here. Oh, do this with me. I'm going to go do that. And then you're like, it gives you an incentive to run.
You can jump on trains, get in stagecoaches. There's multitude of options, and you can always go a different path. And that's the cool thing is like, it's truly open up for you. So I think that's one of the things that I really enjoyed was like even the attachment of like you to your horse. Like it's a weird attachment.
Your
but
horse
like,
with balls.
Your horse with balls that grow and shrink depending on the temperature. I have to specify that.
Very realistic.
Because there's for whatever reason, they thought that it was necessary, so they did it. So when you're on a mountain and it's snowing, tiny balls. When you're out in like the middle of the desert,
they're just hanging there.
Hanging.
If you're going to make the horse have balls, you better make them realistic balls.
Yeah. And Twitch chat just can't get enough of them. Like, I swear to God, every channel I go to, they're like, go ahead, use the binoculars on the balls. And just like, balls. That's all they want to see.
Well, you mentioned before Dave got here today, you saw something where it's like, oh, wait, I accidentally hip shot that guy. Oh, accidentally punched my horse in the face.
Yeah, it's just so many of these. And actually, it's you'll be good for this because of Spider-Man. A lot of it seems to be people saying that when they had played Spider-Man, the controls are very different than when they're playing Red Dead. So like this, I think it was like the sprint button was R2 or something like that. Yeah, but that's
or the sling button.
That's the button to now shoot people. So like you'll be like, oh, I better catch that guy. I just shot this woman in the face. All right, accidentally causing a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and okay, so that's another fun thing is how quickly do you want to get in trouble in this game? Because there's a whole system basically where, you know, if you go and say you commit a crime and you get angry and you murder someone, and if someone else sees it, now there's a witness, and if that witness makes it back to town, you got to kill the witness. But sometimes chasing the witness, you run into a witness train basically where one leads the next to the next.
I am all over that, and the reason why I'm going to bring it back to Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
they have the bounty system where if I'm in town and I steal something and someone sees me, I now have a bounty.
Yeah,
and what I could either do is kill the mercenary that is now scheduled to kill me, or on the map, hey, go and kill the guy that put the bounty out on you. But they're usually in a fort surrounded by people. So now it's a whole half-hour thing where I got to sneak around, kill people because I don't want to be seen. I don't want to get killed. I don't want to get desynchronized or whatever it is. But I would be all over that
and
because of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, so in Red Dead, it is a little different. Like, instead of having to go, like, to a fort basically where they're standing.
You're killing a witness.
So you kill a witness, but if you don't get to them in time, they go to town, they tell the lawman basically.
And then there's a bounty.
There's a bounty on you, which means someone's going to come after you unless you kill them or pay off the bounty.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and use some of your legally garnered wages and go ahead and pay off that bounty and get those guys off your back if you want. So that part's awesome. I think I joked earlier about like the game physics, like literally just lassoing people, riding on your horse and drowning them.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Putting them in a canoe, drowning them.
I like the canoe one. Just put them in a canoe and then shoot the canoe. So
there's like sticks of dynamite, and you watch limbs like literally just and they blow off, and it's like, okay, this is ridiculous.
And there's dogs.
And there's dogs.
You can pet dogs.
I like dogs.
You mentioned like coming across different story things. Like there's semi-hidden things. Not I won't say totally hidden because it's like they want you to find it. You know, you're going past this store and all of a sudden like you're like, okay, I'm done with the store. I walk outside to the side of the building and there's like a small window at the bottom. And there's this guy yelling, "Hey, can you help me? I'm trapped in here." And you're like, do I really want to get involved with this? And he's all right. So you decide to go in there. You go back in the store and like you basically push your way downstairs, and the store manager is actually holding a guy hostage who's telling him or is convinced that that guy's his son, and he's like dressing him up and potentially doing some really weird shit.
Yeah.
So basically, you walk into that scene, you're like, what the fuck is going on here, people? So you lasso up the one guy who's like the store owner / the creepy dude, and you let this other guy go free. And the other guy's wearing like an old school like child's uniform. It's a full
like a schoolboy uniform.
It's super weird. And then you're like, all right, well, as long as I'm here, let me just steal some stuff because he's a
You might as
scumbag.
well.
So like, why would I? I'm gonna go ahead. I take his gun. And then you go upstairs and you're like, all right, let's go hit the cash register, grab some money from there, grab something off the shelf, and that actually triggers an event that another patron walks in, and then it's like, oh, and they see you stealing shit. Like they just watch you pocket it,
and I have to shoot you.
So they go running out the door, and you're like, okay, I have a split second. Do I go for the gun and try to shoot them? Do I try to reason with them? Because you can reason with people, you can bully people, and he didn't. So the guy's watching. Goes and like tries to say something, and the guy runs out, and there happened to be like a sheriff down the street, and the sheriff comes up and he's like, whatever it is, like put it down, put your gun down, like turn yourself in, like it's not worth it kind of thing. And I was like shocked. I was like, because you're looking around the street and it's like, okay, there's like one guy with a gun pointed here, there's another guy over there that looks like he could have a gun, there's a witness, and you realize you're like surrounded.
I'm gonna be so
like,
bad at this game because
shit.
my first reaction is just gonna be shoot.
And that's fine.
You should.
But
just shoot,
that's
and
the
I'm
thing.
gonna get shoot from somewhere that I don't know where it's
You got to
coming
make your
from.
decisions, and that's the thing is like you got to be quick on the decision, and like the consequences of it are awesome.
I do like what you saying, like the reason and bully, because I'm gonna bring it back to what I'm playing right now. Like with Assassin's Creed, there are some moments where it's like you can make a choice of like, hey, I'm gonna say the nice answer, like, hey, could you please not do this kind of a thing, or the one that I usually choose, which is the one of like, hey, you gonna do that or I'm gonna kill you. Like, stop it, or else I'm gonna use my blades because I'm a mercenary and I like killing people.
Exactly. So like.
So usually I would probably bully and be like, hey, let's not tell anyone unless you want to get a bullet.
Exactly. And like the gunfighting, I will admit, like there's no real great middle ground because the aim assist in that game is really strong. And if you don't use aim assist, it is painful to watch people try to shoot because you know PS4 like with the analog sticks. That's the only thing so far that I've seen people.
So you're saying use auto aim.
Auto aim makes the game perhaps too easy. Okay. And that's the argument I've seen out there.
Yeah.
That and like there's a couple of glitchy things that happen, but like for the overwhelming like hours I've watched this game, it's been buttery smooth, like everything looks great. And I like the survival aspect of it because that's something I didn't think about. Like you have to keep yourself fed, you have to feed the horse, you have to make sure you're like cooking meats and stuff. So like there's a lot going on that you have to keep aware of.
What happens if you died? You go back to like just your last known save? Okay.
Yeah, last save state. And you can force save states, by the way, as well, anytime you feel like you want to.
So it's similar to like what Assassin's Creed has.
Right. I think that the difference is Assassin's Creed, and from me watching both and listening and talking and reading some stuff, it seems like Assassin's Creed has more of a grindy feel to it. Where the gameplay itself, like because you're going for a little bit of gear, you're going for the levels. Where Red Dead is just like you're just playing, and it's a whole lot easier.
You're getting more lost,
but also like ADHD like nightmare.
Yeah,
like if you're easily distracted, the slow game pace will drive you nuts because it is. I mean, just noticeably slower game pace, but you can enjoy it more. I feel.
No, with Assassin's Creed, it's not as much like you're talking about with Red Dead, like the atmosphere and this. It's not really like that. Like, oh, this is beautiful. The Athens kind of Greek scenes are nice, but like you're not really involved with much.
Right.
Yeah.
With it, it's just more of like, all right, I gotta go. But they do have like, hey, you can do main story. Oh wait, you can do this. You can go and kill these cultists so that you can get their fragments, and that'll up your spear so that you can get more abilities. So it's like whatever you kind of want to do, but it's different than Red Dead. Where Red Dead, you're just like, all right, what do I want to do today?
Right.
That's what it sounds like.
go
Like,
pick
what,
some
what do you want
flowers.
to do?
You can go pick
You
flowers.
really like
you can go
picking
pick up like a
Were you-
bounty from the board.
Were you ever an alchemist in games like
my
that had
past
that
life?
that had those professions? Because
No,
you
that
really
always-
like picking flowers, Mark.
No, that was always
Someone
my,
wronged you, I feel like.
That was always my
I feel like that
favorite
was
part
not
of,
so.
actually, that I never did in Red Dead, but you'd always be wanting to get your group together, and someone's fucking out there picking flowers, and it's like, yeah, I'll be there in like 5 minutes,
Well,
guys.
this
and
is
everyone's
why-
just sitting there waiting.
This is why you're the lone married man of MVP. He likes picking flowers.
Yeah.
He likes picking flowers for his wife, Dave.
There you
Actually,
go.
my wife, she does. It's not that she doesn't like flowers.
not a
She
huge
just
fan.
will not water them, so they die like immediately.
Yeah, I could understand that.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep things alive.
It is. I actually had to throw out. We have some plants in the house. I had to throw out one because they were not looking too good. It was time for them to go.
Time for them to move on.
Exactly. Move on to a different life. But yeah, I'm excited for Red Dead Redemption 2.
Have I hyped it up enough for you guys to buy it?
I'm buying it.
I was already pretty much. I said to Ricky before you got here, Dave, that I was currently tipping over the fence that I was on earlier. I don't think I can. I don't think I can say no. I don't think I can pass on it. But here's the thing for it. So the options are, of course, with any type of game, is you go, you pick it up in store. I don't really order games to be sent from Amazon if I like want to get it soon,
Right?
Or Target or whatever, because well, Red Dead's the perfect one, because Red Dead Redemption, when the original one came out, my friends all had it like right after. Was I 2008? So yeah, I was a senior in high
2010.
school. Oh, 2010.
Yeah.
Okay, 2010. So I was in college, but
Yep.
so my friends all had it, and I'm sitting there waiting for Amazon to come. I'm waiting. I'm still waiting, and it's like 6:00, and hey, Amazon showed up, and I'm like, all right, guys, I'm gonna get to play now. So I don't really do that, but I couldn't go to GameStop, but there was always that buying it digitally option.
Yeah.
My problem always when it comes to digital is I still refuse to accept that digital games should cost the same amount as a physical game.
Right?
Because a digital game, it's mine. I cannot do shit with that game. Now, a physical one,
You can't-
all right,
you
I
can't
can
sell it to anyone else.
I can sell
Yeah.
it to somebody. I can go ahead and trade it in at GameStop, whatever, Best Buy. So part of me is like, honestly, I could buy Red Dead Redemption right now. I could text my wife and say, hey, just turn it on the PlayStation, put this
And
code
let it
in,
go.
let it install, because it's gonna take like 40 minutes to install.
More than that.
Yeah.
Depending on your internet, more and a whole lot more. But yeah.
It's gonna take a while, so
It is a
like,
huge
it can
game
be ready
file.
to go.
Yep.
But I just can't really, unless it's Steam, I can't really convince myself to buy digital.
Well,
but-
I mean, they do have now. I know that some do, where it's like, hey, you bought it digitally. I can put in, like, if you wanted to lend it to me,
Yeah.
I can put in, like, your SN, and then, hey, I'm going to let you borrow that game, basically.
That's true.
Yeah, I can let you borrow it.
You could
which is
technically
kinda
use that where,
nice.
hey, pay me and I'll lend it to you digitally.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no real...
that's more of a friend thing, though. I
Yeah.
feel like that's
Yeah.
not a lucrative. Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
because if
I mean,
anything,
look,
then your
just be
physical
lazy and
becomes cheaper.
like the thing I hate is just the assholes who just go to Redbox and steal it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the only thing that hurts me the most because like there's no winning there. But I don't know. I personally, I'm just the only holdback for me is I need to go ahead and clear out a new hard drive for this thing because I've got 2K and Overwatch and Borderlands and I just don't have room.
Not just going to delete stuff.
I just don't got room.
With
Yeah.
me, it's usually deleting those sports games. Well,
Yeah.
these 2 years old, don't need that
But like
anymore.
I'm still playing. Like
But
this is the
eventually,
new 2K.
Yeah, eventually you do that. And now you're like, well, these are the current ones.
exactly.
mean,
That's all I'm down to. Like,
I won't have that problem. I just bought a brand new PlayStation Pro Day.
Yeah,
that's
you're good to
true.
go.
Spider-Man.
You're all set.
My issue at the moment, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know what game I'm going to delete because for Detroit Become Human, I had to delete some of the sports games. I'm like, well, I don't want to delete Detroit Become Human because I know I'm probably not going to go back and play it again.
But just in case
there's
you
just a
do.
little part of me that's like, maybe I will want to do it. And it's just like, damn, I still got some stuff I
you
want
gotta sink
to
a couple
do.
more hours into that game.
Yeah, I mean, I just,
There's a couple different webs I didn't go down.
Yeah, I mean, I had one of my main characters of the 3 main characters died, and I didn't get to do his ending stuff, so I let him get sacrificed. So like, I don't know what I'm gonna delete, but I don't want to go out and buy a new hard drive just for.
I know
for
it's
this
so
either.
ridiculous.
And here's the too old to game part coming in. With me, when it comes to digital or physical, I've always been on the physical because I've been burned before. So this was one experience that just burned me in the past where
Never again.
I went to, it was one of the 2Ks. I bought it digitally because I didn't want to wait for it.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm going to broadcast it on Twitch for the channel.
Yeah.
I went to hit stream. It started to stream. My PlayStation locked and it froze.
Yeah.
I quit, got back into it. All right, game's going fine. Came back in. All right, gonna start the stream, and it froze. Ever since then, I'm like, I'm not buying a digital game because am I going to be able to do everything I want to do with it?
Yeah.
And I've never had that problem with an actual physical game.
It's true. I mean, it's reasonable for you to do that just because, like, you don't want to get burned again.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it's whatever's more convenient at this point in time for me. I don't know. I'm leaning necessarily one way or the other, but.
And I try to at least somewhat like have my gaming habits now that I play less games.
Yeah.
Kind of pay for themselves. Like if I can, for a while I traded in games to GameStop because my thought was always just that like, well, I'm not playing it anymore. Then I kind of stopped because it was like, yeah, they give me nothing for it, so what's the point? Then now I'm back into it because I'm like, well, I only have so many times to play games anyways, so like let me just do this now because I can trade it in, I'll get something, and then I don't have to like say, hey, I'm gonna buy a $60 game, wife.
Right. That's totally a reasonably adult thing to do with my money.
Right. It is. And then she would never say not to, but like I like to have it support itself so that way it's, not ever an issue.
At least partially. Yeah, I absolutely understand. But I mean, you're mentioning time to play games. Like this game is 60 plus hours.
Yeah.
That's a lot of game.
It is. And like that's why it took me like a whole year to beat Persona because I was only able to play it on Sundays. I played it on Sundays and that was it. But like you talk about being burned, I wouldn't say it's being burned, but like I bought digitally. What was the Star game, the spaceship game?
Starlink?
No, not Starlink. I'm blanking on its name. No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, so I bought No
the
Man's
game
Sky
that wasn't a
digitally.
game.
I bought it digitally.
It is now, apparently.
I know, but when you
Yeah,
bought
it's
it,
fine.
yeah.
And you know what? It was what it was. It was not that bad when I bought it.
But it wasn't what they promised.
I bought it that morning.
Yeah.
I was not going to, and then I saw enough that morning to be like,
They talked
about
it doing so many things. If they hit on like 3/4 of it, it would have been amazing.
because I remember you came in for the onside kick that day and were very upset about it.
I had not played it really yet at that point. I don't think.
I
Maybe
remember
did,
you.
but
I remember
don't
you
think I did.
complaining about it before we hit the record button.
Because I didn't get
The
much
first
the
week or
onside
the
kick.
second week?
It might have been the second
That's what
week.
I'm thinking.
Because like
yeah.
I would wake up early from work and play it a little bit, and I'm like, there's really not that much going on here. I'm just wandering around looking at stuff. But that was exactly it. I would have traded that game in.
Yeah.
And now you can't.
I couldn't because it was digital. So then it's like, I don't really. And that's besides the fact that it's just nice to put games up on
I was
shelf.
going to say, there's a nostalgia and a collector's fact that I think that goes into it more now at my age. Like, I look back and I'm proud of my like old-ass Sega games and Nintendo games.
It's the same reason you don't throw out the box of your console.
Oh, I know.
There's no reason why you ever would keep those boxes, but you do it.
Because it adds to the collection and the presentation, and it's sort of like nerd credit.
Well,
like when
especially
the people come over, it's like, hey, check it out.
especially like me. I have maybe it's because it's the Spider-Man one.
Oh my
That
God.
box, I'm like, this is not going anywhere.
Piece
Like
of artwork.
the white box that has PlayStation on it, fuck it, that can go in the garbage. But the one that had like the Spider-Man on it, it had on the back like him fighting Mr. Negative. I'm like, no, this is going over here. This is not going to get destroyed because this is a work of art.
All those gaming boxes, the console boxes, I think, are like in my parents' basement. So they probably have been thrown out. And I just don't know it.
Mark
They're
after today is going to be calling,
I
hey,
was
Ma,
saying,
Dad, you throw those
By any
out?
chance, you just see one of
Please
these?
don't.
Like, oh yeah, those have been in the garbage for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as you moved out,
Yeah,
Mark,
day
your
after you
shit's
moved
gone.
out.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I mean, I honestly I might go buy it on my way home today. and play it.
Do it. Do it. Maybe we should. And here's the thing: I'm being ambitious, and I know we keep talking about how as Too Old to Game, we'd love to do a live stream with like us in a room just talking and playing a game like. I don't know, Red Dead Redemption 2.
I like the idea, Dave.
Like maybe that could be like our inaugural, but at the same time, like I think we're all
or just even like even if it's not a live stream would be good. But even if it's just us three playing it and recording it.
Let us know if you guys would enjoy that, because I would enjoy actually playing games with you guys. I'm more of a social gamer, so like I can sit there, toss on headphones, and play a game all day. But I don't feel as much
fun. I don't have to play it though. I could be sitting there talking while we all.
Exactly. Yeah. I like to enjoy things with people. That's why Twitch is like such a strong connection for me, because I really enjoy that kind of community.
I'm gonna be honest, and you've said this before.
Yeah.
It's because you're the youngest.
I never got to play games.
3 brothers.
I never got to play games to start.
Like, it was always you'll get your turn, Dave, and then Dave never got his turn.
Oldest brother plays first. Then the middle brother plays it. Then the oldest one, if he feels like playing it again, maybe. And then Dave gets a turn. And you know what? I was fine with that. I learned patience, and I watched the game. I watched them play the game. And there's something to be said about that. But at the same time, like, that's just... I still
remember the first time we were playing something. I died and went, all right, it's your turn. And the look on your face was like... I actually get the controller.
I get a turn? Like, are you sure? Like, do you want to keep going? Because, like, I'm not really into this whole playing games thing.
There were some times where, like, nah, you can have it again. I'm like, you sure? You're like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no,
I feel bad because Dave doesn't get a turn.
It's okay. I enjoy watching people play games, interacting with them and the game. Like, that's just my jam. I'm a weird kind of person, I guess.
Unless it's like Phantasy Star.
Well, that game, we should do we need to get other Sean on this show.
Sean K, not Sean A.
I wasn't even going to give initials.
K, not A.
Leaks.
K, not A.
That's what his thing can be. That's his slogan.
I like K, not A. That's pretty awesome, actually. K, not A. We'll have K, not A on here one week, and I want to just nostalgia, like, talk about that game, because it took, I dropped at least...
Hours, days, millennia.
I was over 80 hours spent on the first character when it got deleted, which is a whole story. And then I was probably another 60 on the second one. So yeah, that took a good portion. I think we nostalgia session.
Malekith?
Malekith, yeah.
Malekith. That was that character's name.
Malekith.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Malekith.
But yeah, maybe we'll do some nostalgia. But I think the live stream thing will be fun to have the 3 old men from Too Old to Game in a room playing a game. Talking.
Are we the oldest?
We old as hell.
We are.
No, Johnny is technically, because you're a year younger than us.
I am a year younger than you.
Johnny
guys,
is technically.
Well, Johnny can come along if he wants to.
No, I'm just saying, like, out of the MVP, the 3 oldest would technically be me, you, me, and then Johnny.
I'm the oldest.
You are.
That's why I host this show.
You are because
I am too old to game.
You are the elder.
Yeah,
that's terrifying. You should all be terrified. But enough Red Dead Redemption 2. Mark, you brought up a topic kind of before we started talking about the show. What were we going to do today? And we started, like, listing off, like, well, Red Dead, and we started talking about different games, and you kind of hit back to, like, well, PlayStation 4, like, what's it done for me? Like, should I wait for next gen?
Yeah.
Is there any worth left out of a PlayStation 4? Because you feel like...
Yeah, I feel like I haven't gotten enough out of PlayStation 4. And maybe it's just that I'm currently in the generation and, rose-colored goggles for some old generations.
Yeah.
Or the technological leaps that have happened in the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 3 type of eras, Xbox and Xbox 360 eras, to now. I kind of feel like I just haven't gotten enough. And maybe it's because we're only, I think, when did the PlayStation 4 come out? Was that 2012? 2013? 2013.
November 15th, 2013.
So we're looking at this console as before, Sony talking about being working on the next generation.
Right.
And we have games like Cyberpunk where they're like, yeah, we're working on it slowly. And everyone's like, wink, wink, this is next gen.
Yeah.
Well, they've already come out and said that they're working on next gen. They just don't know when.
Yeah.
But they are seriously working on next gen.
But yeah, as far as Cyberpunk being like, they kick the doors off the
that's probably
going to open it up.
Be a release game. So like what I'm saying here is just that I don't feel like I'm truly getting enough. And there were great games. There were some awesome, amazing games in this era. But 5 years into it, we're already talking about the next generation. It really makes me feel like, all right, we kind of have jumped ship already. Like, you didn't give me enough worth, I feel like, out of this generation. Not necessarily saying the $400 I spent on my PlayStation, or if it was $300, I don't remember at this point.
$399.
$399, so $400. So the $400, it's not that. It's just that I don't feel like this generation has truly given me quite enough besides remasters.
Like, when you said that, I was like, you're crazy. Like, to me, and again, this could be, I feel like I've played a lot more than you have with this gen. Also, with the Cyberpunk thing I want to throw out there, maybe they're doing that because they don't want it to be like a Last of Us situation where Last of Us came out June 2013, then in November it's like, oh, wait, shoot, here's the next gen.
Yeah, you got to witness the best of the last gen, which is always an awkward spot because it's impressive because you look at the first game that was released on that system, the PlayStation 4, versus the last one that we released for PlayStation 4.
Awesome, because you're like, wow, look
it's
how
night
far
and
we
day.
came. Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I really want that next gen shit for Cyberpunk 2077. Like,
And I mean, I'm looking here, and of course, I feel like this question is going to be dependent on what you've played.
And also what kind of stuff you like.
Exactly.
Right.
Like,
Because you're going to bring up Assassin's Creed, and I'm going to say, I don't care about Assassin's
Exactly.
Creed.
Or if you're just a FIFA guy, people would say, well, you could get that on Xbox. You could get that on, like, you
as
get
long as you're not
Madden,
an MLB fan, you can get that on Xbox.
You can get it on anything.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm looking here just at an arbitrary list. Here are some of the best 100, just some of them. PlayStation
Metacritic?
4 game.
Ricky's going to list all 100 of them.
Not all of them, but like Red Dead 2 that just came out, we'll also throw out.
I say, did they score that already?
97.
Jesus.
A 97 on Metacritic. You
Wow,
got
Rockstar's got the top
GTA
2,
5, which is
does
also
not
number
count
2.
because it was a PlayStation 3 game.
Exactly.
You
I say
also
that's the
have-
number 2 game on PlayStation 3.
You also have God of War, the last one that came out, Persona 5, Metal Gear 5.
Persona 5 for me is, that was my PlayStation 4 game. When it's like, what was the best game on PlayStation 4? Persona 5. Without a doubt.
Bloodborne, which was good.
was a great
Undertale,
game.
I know Undertale was one that was on multiple things, but that everyone blew up about that. Witcher 3.
Witcher 3 was actually
I'm not going to
fantastic.
count Shadows of the Colossus because that was a remake.
Remaster.
Celeste, a great game. Only a $20 game that you could get. That one
Ricky,
was on
we're
more
not getting
systems.
paid for it, but you keep plugging it.
I do. I like the game.
He loves it. The man loves it.
Overwatch? Like, Overwatch was a
PC.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's PC, but I'm talking about you can get that on PlayStation 4. Monster Hunter World was really good.
Yes.
You have Dark Souls 3, which is there. Battlefield 1. Was Battlefield 1 on?
No. Throw that out of there.
I don't know if maybe that was one. I don't know.
No, there were Battlefield games on PlayStation 3.
Dishonored 2, you have Injustice 2 was pretty good.
Now we're at the point where these aren't like...
No, these aren't
say-
the mega fighters, but like it's-
Injustice 2.
Spider-Man
Spider-Man's a big...
62 on this list.
What?
62 on Metacritic.
So
right.
here's the thing. Like,
Wolfenstein.
and this is a recent thing too, but we really only got like Final Fantasy 15, and I know that they had the online one too, but
That's a
nobody
game I
cares about
bought
that.
and played for 2 hours and never played again.
got to the first thing and was like, no, this is not Final Fantasy I'm done with this.
I didn't.
hoping for.
I didn't even buy it.
You know,
I was really hoping.
I mean,
for something.
technically, Fortnite came out now, but like these are things that like Fortnite and Overwatch are the kind of things where I'm like, I don't necessarily know if I count those in the same way that I don't count like Call of Duty games,
Right?
Because those are just like nonstop.
I think that if you want to debate with which gen was better, 3 or 4, that is a perfectly fine debate.
Can I read off some threes?
Go ahead, but this is like I don't want this to be the PlayStation 4 gen sucked.
Well,
like
no, I mean, it's all relative.
Horizon for Horizon fans.
Oh my god!
if
that
we're
game's
gonna go
gorgeous.
into which one
I'm
was
not saying
better,
that 4
that's maybe where we
sucks.
can
No,
have the
but
I'm
debate.
just saying
Three
it's
had
too
a heavy hitter
early.
list.
Yeah.
Because 3 was, how long of a generation was that? That was like at least 11, 12 years for PlayStation 3, right?
I think it was like 8 years.
No, it had to have been longer.
Because
than that,
2013,
right?
I think.
2006 to 2013.
So yeah.
Okay, so it's a little bit shorter than I'm thinking. So maybe that's appropriate.
So we're wrapping up at this point. We've got
But
a
I
couple
just-
more good years.
And
tops.
maybe it's the
or maybe it's gonna
the
be sooner.
spot in my life that I'm at or whatever, where I just don't feel like I've truly gotten enough out of this generation.
Yeah, so chopping out the PS3 charts on Metacritic is like Grand Theft Auto 4, 5, Uncharted 2, Batman Arkham City, Little Big Planet, Red Dead Original, Last of Us, BioShock Infinite, BioShock Original, Mass Effect 2, Metal Gear Solid 4, Elder Scrolls Oblivion,
And with
Elder
that,
Scrolls
like,
Skyrim.
you mentioned that 2 Elder Scroll games,
Yep.
multiple
Mass Effect
Grand
2
Theft
and
Auto
3.
games,
Yep.
the entire Mass Effect trilogy,
But
Yeah, you're right.
But let me throw
God
this
of War.
Skyrim, which is still being released. Like, and I know I
But-
mentioned 2 Elder Scroll games, but still.
Rock Band.
Yeah.
Rock Band. Well,
Literally.
that whole craze died.
But that was an
But that
entire
was
gaming
huge.
revolution. That changed the way people
I
game.
don't feel like we've had a single one of those type of things. You can maybe say, and this counts as our Fortnite conversation for the day.
Yeah.
You can maybe say that Fortnite and Overwatch can count in that, or in
I
like
would say
that.
Fortnite's probably the one that's kind of revolutionized because that's now every platform and it is defined its own genre of battle royale
But I can't
style.
really find another thing that's
Two
like
things.
this is something huge.
I didn't even mention Borderlands 2
Yeah.
is on there.
Two things,
Killzone.
though, I want to throw out. And these, I think,
Yeah.
affect
that
PlayStation
era really
4.
started the craze of Call of Duty.
Well,
It did.
Exactly. But the two things I'm thinking of, and this is going to affect 4 to 3. Number one, when you mention like, oh, we got 2 of those games here. Well, newer gen, newer things. It takes now longer for them to create the game, like because they sit there and they want to release. I feel like the game studios want to release the best product, and when you get higher technology, there's more work. Games take longer to make now than they did back then.
But then we should give that generation more time. We shouldn't jump in enough because
And I mean, that's a debate
You
for
know,
a totally
because
different
I feel
conversation
like-
of if we're leaving this too
'cause
soon.
I feel like Rockstar is one thing, but I think of like I'm blanking on the name. Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog. So they've gotten to make not Assassin's Creed, Uncharted 4, and they're going to make The Last of Us 2. They get 2 games in this generation, and that's it. Comparing to, of their main ones, they had 4 at least, when you talk about the Uncharted trilogy,
Yeah.
and then The Last of Us. 4 big games in the PlayStation 3 era. So you're giving them half the time, and I understand what you're saying, and I completely agree with you, that it's just, games take more time. And also there's higher demand for better quality games now, too.
That's true.
But you're not letting your developers truly get the most out of your current generation console
So-
if you don't give them enough games to do it.
Looking at Wikipedia for Naughty Dog, PlayStation 3, they had the Uncharted Drake's Fortune, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception, a Jack and Dexter collection that was PS3 and PS Vita,
Yeah.
Last of Us, and then I'll count Last of Us Left Behind, although that was on both.
DLC, yeah.
And then on the new one, Remastered of Last of Us, Nathan Drake Collection for Uncharted, Uncharted 4, Uncharted Lost Legacy, and then they'll have Last of Us
So
Part
we're looking
2.
at like remasters and then 2 games.
Right.
But also, is that a Naughty Dog thing of, did they have a game lined up? Like, hey, we wanted to make this one and we couldn't, or it was just, hey, this is what we got. We are working on Last of Us Part 2, and that's taken a lot of the resources, maybe.
That's totally true, although Naughty Dog has 2 different teams that are working on games at the same time. At least they had before. I don't know, maybe things have changed. But
Yeah.
that's just the kind of thing where I'm like, if you were able to release 4 games before, look at Uncharted 1 and then look at The Last of Us and how different those games are, quality-wise. Why? And I don't think that that Uncharted 4 and The Last of Us 2 are going to be that much far apart from each other. I don't think developers are getting a chance to truly get out everything
Let me
they
throw
can.
out the second one I was going to say.
Sure.
Single-player games are dying. We've talked about that before.
It's true.
If more and more people are not playing single-player games like they did with PlayStation 3, developers are probably going, why waste the time?
And yet, what games are you playing right now, Ricky?
Single-player. I am a proponent.
The last 2 AAA games that have been released are
Exactly.
single-player games.
And I will say, I am a proponent of single-player games. I love single-player games. I love diving into a world and having that. Red Dead 2 might be a little different because they're going to add an online feature to it. But for the most part, the biggest games of this system, like as of right now, you mentioned Fortnite.
Yeah.
Fortnite, Call of Duty, like that whole thing, Overwatch. It's like more of these multiplayer games. And I feel like generations below us are going to continue that and not necessarily the single player. So we may not see, oh, Naughty Dog didn't have as many games here because they focused on one single player game rather than trying to get two out.
Since we're talking about Red Dead and Rockstar, I mean, that's the thing where me as a huge Grand Theft Auto fan, I mean, when I bought a PlayStation 3, literally the first game I owned was Grand Theft Auto 3.
There you go.
I'm sorry, PlayStation 2. The first game I owned was Grand Theft Auto 3. And my parents did not have a problem with that, which is amazing. So I look at that, and it's just like, I have been a huge Grand Theft Auto fan. I will buy any Grand Theft Auto game that they come out with. But then Grand Theft Auto 5 comes out, which was amazing. I loved it. But they didn't give me any DLC. Zero DLC, because they were so focused on online. So focused on that. And that's the thing, too, of like a developer like Rockstar, is looking at that and being like, well, we don't really need to come out. We don't need to start working on Grand Theft Auto 6 right now. Not saying that they're not, but they don't really need to because, well, Grand Theft Auto Online is still making us money.
Oh, absolutely.
So why do we need to move on?
No, I think it's very much, they're listening to the audience much more these days. I feel like devs in the communities are on such a good relationship in most scenarios. I know there's some that have like notoriously bad devs, but for the most part, like everybody's talking, everybody's listening, and they're trying to make these games better and extending the lifespan of a game by adding DLCs or DLCs is a whole nother thing. Sorry, that's tangent here, but yeah.
Here's a thing to throw out there too. If in this generation with EA and Disney having Star Wars' license.
Yeah.
If we don't get a damn good Star Wars game in this generation, that is a fucking failure.
It's a shame.
I mean, that is terrible. And we're not counting, Battlefront. Battlefront's its own thing. Because that's something that they're still working on how to make it happen. But if we don't get a quality Star Wars game, like single player Star Wars experience.
I mean, just KOTOR.
That's a failure.
Just making just slap a paint code on KOTOR.
Speaking of remasters,
like, where's KOTOR?
I'll take it.
Same.
I
could dump it hours back into that game. Yeah.
I mean, I bought the damn thing on my iPad because I wanted to play it again. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And it's not amazing to play on the iPad, but it works. It's something.
So it's funny that you brought that up because this is a Screen Rant article when I was researching for the Rick and Johnny podcast. They did an article of like 19 projects that are in development or rumored to be in development from Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I was expecting like all films, like, okay, what film here? But they had a couple of them on here, and I'm going to scroll through.
Yeah, there's a few developers that are supposed to be working on Star Wars games.
Because I saw in development, a Respawn Entertainment Star Wars video game. So you're going to get one from Respawn.
People were hoping to hear about that at E3, and there was nothing.
Rumored future updates for Battlefront 2, but like you said, throw Battlefront out because it's its own thing.
Yeah.
In development, EA Vancouver's coming up with a Star Wars game of their own, and I think that might have been right here, rumored in Knights of the Old Republic adaptation.
I thought that the Knights of the, and I could be totally wrong, so that's okay. Let me know if I am. I thought that the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic was supposed to be a movie adaptation.
Not only is it in high demand among fans, but many believe an adaptation of KOTOR is already underway. David Betnoff and D.B. Weiss, the creators of HBO's Game of Thrones. Oh, you're right. It's a TV show.
Yeah.
It's not a game. Okay. So then you only have the 3, but you have 2 that are in development and then the Battlefront stuff.
If this generation ends and I don't have I mean, like,
but
that's what people's scare was with The Last of Us 2. They thought that was going to get delayed to next gen.
Yeah, we need a KOTOR 3 or we need a remastered KOTOR. Either way.
And like Cyberpunk's a good one too, where it's like, I really want you guys to just give me Cyberpunk.
You want it to be like Last of Us, where give me it on 4 and then remaster it for 5.
Close this generation out well.
But if they released it with a new system for PlayStation 5,
it would sell great.
I would buy a PlayStation 5 for that game out the
on
gates.
launch day.
Yeah, I would absolutely do it.
That's the thing, Dave, and I'm saying this to you because you are a PC gamer.
Yep.
If that's the kind of thing where if it would, and it's not going to be, but if it was going to be released on PC and it was a next generation, I had to buy a thing anyways, that would be the thing to make me say, nope, I'm a PC gamer. Like, that would be the thing to finally switch me over.
There's a lot of good reasons to be a PC gamer,
to be
Mark.
like, I will just buy myself some good quality hardware and get I've got a great desk where I can play something. It's got nothing on it but a printer right now. It would be ready to go.
There you go.
So I've got 2 lists in front of me.
Yep.
I'm gonna list off. I'm not going to tell you which is which.
You're going to list some lists?
I'm going to give you
so
two
I shouldn't
lists.
be looking at Angry Birds
no,
right
you
now?
shouldn't. I'm going to give you
That's on the
two
list.
lists, and you tell me which one's the better list for games.
Okay.
So, Angry Birds Star Wars.
Love it.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Battlefield 4. Blacklight Retribution. Call of Duty Ghosts. DC Universe Online. FIFA 14. Injustice, Gods Among Us, the Ultimate Edition. Killzone Shadowfall. Knack. Lego Marvel Superheroes. Madden 25. NBA 2K14. NBA Live 14, and then I'll throw in Warframe as well. That was list 1. List 2.
I can already say list 1 did not impress me in the slightest.
List 2. Oh, come on, not
Had
pictures.
a couple games in there for me.
This one's got pictures with it.
It had
So,
things where I was like, oh, okay.
Blazing Angels, Squadron, World War II, Call of Duty 3, Genji, Days of the Blade, Madden 07,
Oh, that was a good man.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance,
Ooh.
Mobile Suit Gundam Crossfire,
Gundam. I am a Gundam fan.
NBA 2K7, NHL 2K7, Resistance Fall of Man, Ridge Racer 7, Tiger Woods PGA Tour 07, Tony Hawk's Project 8, and that's the
They
last
made a lot
one.
of Tony Hawk games.
Which one was a better list?
I feel like
Honestly, they weren't really either one.
neither one was
really
great,
very
but I
good.
would go with the one.
The first list I read was the
Yeah.
PlayStation 4 launch titles. The second was PS3's launch titles.
Yeah.
So, like, that's the... Of course, this is where we were in gaming, too.
Yeah,
Right.
But
Like-
PlayStation 3, I feel like it had a slow release too.
Because that was basically the list of every sports game.
Yeah.
And then Call of Duty, which is basically all you needed because, like, as a 12-year-old,
Yeah.
Call of Duty was just my
Whereas,
life.
I mean, then you could
And World
play
of
into
Warcraft.
it because maybe you're not expecting as slow a start for a PS5. Why not have... Maybe that could be another thing. Hey, why, when we gave you the gameplay trailer for Cyberpunk,
Yeah.
why we put that little disclaimer on it? Because if you bump it to PlayStation 5, it's going to be massively different than
true.
the gameplay trailer that they gave us.
It sure would. Yeah, I mean, usually the release of a console is not that strong. Like people buy it, but like the game releases on it are not that strong. Like until like the next year, it takes. A
Yeah,
little
there's
bit
like
of time.
one or two good titles for year one. And
unless
then
it's
it-
Nintendo. Nintendo's a
Nintendo
completely
does their own
different beast.
thing, man.
They will have
Respect
good
'em.
games right off the bat.
Yeah. Seriously. All right. I think we've kind of bashed the PS3 was better than PS4, but it's objective.
PlayStation 4 is great, but it's just we're not done yet.
We haven't hit the end state of
Yeah.
what's the best you can get out of a PlayStation
Mark
4.
just wants it to stew a little bit, man. Like, just let this stew keep
it's
burning.
like a slow cooker. You
Yeah.
know what?
Yeah.
Do you want to throw those ribs in
You
the
don't
oven?
want to eat after
or
2
do you
hours.
want to do that slow
You want to
cooker?
eat after 6 hours when that shit melts off the
Yeah.
bone. Like, come on.
That's
Come
what
on.
I'm talking about.
You smoking those ribs too, putting them in the smoker.
I don't
one?
actually have a smoker, but
I've looked at
I
buying
say
a
that
smoker like
because-
6 different times.
Yeah.
Because
they're
I
great.
say that because every channel I've watched that they talk about smoking, it's like 12 plus hours.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. You
It's a
got
whole day
low and slow,
experience.
baby. Low and slow. Mark, you had some thoughts you wanted to toss out about like Fortnite, I think.
Oh no, I just got an email about Fortnite having Halloween skins.
The new season?
If you're into that. Halloween.
Boom.
But they had like a PvE thing. I didn't read anything about it, but I was like, oh hey, they're trying something different.
Yeah, that's probably not going to work, and probably only get like 4 people to be happy.
All they need is 4.
Hey, I like Overwatch's PvE stuff, like the Junkenstein going on right now. Pretty fun
The
shit.
resistance
Yeah.
stuff that they had. No, I like it.
I enjoy it, so I'm glad they put it in there. So for Fortnite, same
There you
thing.
go.
Like, it may not please everyone, but people will get a kick out of it. World of Warcraft news, I've officially done. Ricky,
Mine's done. My time is done in November 15th, but I haven't played.
there we go. We're pretty much wrapped on World of
Canceling
Warcraft.
the subscription.
I-
Yeah, it's canceled.
I can't. I can't believe I let him wrap me into it. Like
I
I
can
knew.
believe that
I
he did,
knew
yeah.
this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I knew this was gonna happen.
I
We
can't-
were gonna go all in.
I'm so-
we were
you're-
talking
you're- I
about
can't-
making a guild.
Yep.
We were talking about doing this and that. We made a guild. That guild's dead now. Mashed potatoes will no longer
Well,
live.
look, it's hard to make a guild like at the end of expansion because like we couldn't get people in who are like committed.
Yeah.
Like they're
But
like,
we could not the problem. Not the problem. The problem is that I wish we would have spent more time on it, but I'm happy.
The problem was
now I'm on
VidCon
Assassin's
really.
Creed.
Look, we went to VidCon,
Yeah.
we came back, we lost momentum, and then we've uncovered a whole new
I'll
thing.
be honest. I brought my computer to play in the hotel room, but I didn't notice that our hotel charged you for internet. So
Yeah.
we didn't have internet in our room.
It would have
Yeah.
been really shitty internet too.
Yeah, it would
would've
have been
been.
like $30 a night. I was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Going back to Indigo, Hotel Indigo, giving them a promotion. They're not promoting, or they're not sponsoring this, but they were a great hotel 2 years ago. That's where me and Brandon stayed.
And I think that's where we're going to wrap it up for this week of Too Old to Game. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming along on this journey because we've really gone pretty deep on some stuff. Had a good time. If you want to support us, you can always check us out on Patreon. And if you do hit that $10 tier, you can join us on an episode of Too Old to Game or any other episode, any other show on Most Valuable Podcasts. If you want to support us, just anything we get is awesome. So like if you go comment, like, subscribe, all that standard stuff, like absolutely we appreciate it. And we love the comments down below. I love reading them. I know we don't get many yet, but I honestly enjoy our
We
commenters.
got one this week. We got a good one this week.
Nice.
From
Oh,
Too
we
Old
did.
to
Yes.
Game.
Yeah, we did. So thank you guys so much. We'll catch you next week.